Morning, Ben Yount from Illinois Watchdog.org joins us live via Skype this morning.
Good morning, Ben.
We were talking about Illinois Governor Pat Quinn's State of the State yesterday, which normally looks back at the year the governor had and his plans for the future. A little different yesterday. Tell us about it.
Yeah, there was only a little bit of humble bragging, patting himself on the back. Essentially, gay marriage, thumbs up from the governor. Pension reform, thumbs up, though it's still waiting its way through. And the governor spent a lot of time saying, hey, I'm not Rod Blagojevich, but there was more of a look forward. Higher minimum wage, not a surprise. A new building program, that's going to be tough. But he talked about new initiatives, an economic blueprint, no specifics, a new birth to 5 initiative. A lot of lawmakers, Republican and Democrats, said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. How's he going to pay for it? It was what the governor didn't say that got all of the reaction.
How much reaction did, I want to say pension reform specifically, because I spoke to State Representative Jill Tracy a few weeks ago, who's also running for lieutenant governor, and asked her about pension reform and how Governor Quinn could tout that. And she goes, he had nothing to do with that.
He gets to tout it because he signed it. His name's on it. That's the power of being the incumbent. Any Cub fan knows that just because you're on the team, that's you're associated with that, good or bad. The governor does get to say, hey, listen, I was in charge of the state when the legislature delivered this to me. The big question is, will he try and spend the $2 billion or thereabouts that pension reform saved, even though there are all of these legal challenges? So he didn't mention the word tax increase, revenue. He didn't even use code words. And Illinois is going to have one single focus this summer or this spring at the Capitol, and that is what to do about the 2011 temporary income tax increases. And if you don't extend those, how do you make up $5 to $6 billion? The governor laid out initiatives that are all going to cost new money. Meanwhile, we can't pay for the stuff that we're already supposed to pay for.
He did touch a little bit on the future plans for Illinois, which is kind of raising the minimum wage.
Yeah, and that's something that is not necessarily going to cost state money. It will cost jobs and businesses, according to small business owners. I work right next to the small town grocery store here in Lincoln, and the owner there said, listen, we're making pennies per can on peas. If you mandate that I raise the minimum wage $1.75 an hour at least, it's either going to be fewer people that I hire or prices are going to go up. Don't forget, Illinois has the second highest unemployment rate in the nation. We're 2 points higher than the national average. We're 2 points higher than just about all of our neighbors.
What, if anything, have you heard from any of the 4 Republican candidates for governor from Governor Quinn's State of the State?
Oh, they all hated the speech. I mean, some of it is to be expected that it is the typical election year. And don't get me wrong. There was as much looking forward to the election in this speech. The governor used the catchphrase, getting the job done. I expect to hear that many more times coming up on the campaign trail. The Republican candidates all focused on Illinois' lack of job creation. And from Kirk Dillard to Bruce Rauner to Bill Brady to Dan Rutherford, they all said this is a governor who hasn't created enough jobs. Since Pat Quinn took office, this state has not recovered like other states. And so the governor can talk about building new roads and getting more moms to the doctor while they're pregnant, but Illinois still has stubbornly high unemployment. That's what the Republicans have latched onto, and I think that is where they see their best avenue to battle against this governor. This is the first speech. The budget speech is the one that matters because those are the numbers. And we already have lawmakers saying, hey, none of this matters until the governor tells us how much money he wants to spend.
Right. All right, Ben.
Things get ugly when the numbers get involved.
Thanks so much for your time, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
See you next week.
All right.